Hello everybody, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order, as Orenburg. Let us continue on where we last left off. So, things are still not great. We're still losing fuel. Again, I'm not too sure how or why we are. Also, something's going on down here. Do you have a focus or you don't? But Orska does. What's a bigger army? You have 3 divisions. You have 3 to 5 divisions. So, basically even. Letters found on Old Man Markov's desk. The contents were, I believed in freedom. I really did. When the commune asked me for my trust, my food, I withheld nothing. When I was asked to shelter the Earl's soldiers, I gave them my own room. I love my freedom, and I would give myself away in its service. I was given a privileged position within the commune. I believe my own works would be sufficient to vouchsafe for my credentials, and I never abused that position. I love the commune. I still love my village. Service in the protection of our freedom is no burden to me. But when Sleta, the night, the light of my life fell within the shakes and fever, I was denied. The chairman and his family need it, I was told. The esteemed visitors need it. The counselors I never heard of were more valuable to the commune than my daughter choking in her bed, the life slipping from her every breath. And when it came time to hold a funeral, when Maria could no longer stand the grief, the commune did nothing. This is the reward for my service, freely given, nothing. Melikov is ruthless and brutal, I know this. But he will be better than the blank faces who watched my daughter slipped away and waved their arms and smiled from the corners of her lips. At least his punishment will be fair and hard. Freedom is worth nothing at all without justice, and Markov is justice. Old Man Markov was killed in a police station suppressing Markovite riots the following February. And Markov is this guy. The leader of the authoritarian socialist. We'll see what kind of goes on there. So they had a border conflict. Nothing seemed to get resolved too much, but you're -10. Everybody doesn't really like me. That's not a huge surprise given the circumstances we've arrived ourselves in. Is anybody at least like neutral towards me? You are. You know, you're +20, same ideology bonus. So that is good. But other than that, nobody likes me. We need more troops. We have like no manpower. And if any of our neighbors decide to attack us, I'm pretty sure we might just die. Also, can I change? No, we only have generic unit models, which kind of sucks. I wish we had something a little bit nicer than that. So right now, we have 1.5% available, so we have 0.3% of our population still able to be recruited at some point. Army in the field. We have 14,000 men. That's really not a lot. So, I don't know where all of our manpower is going. So you are 2x3. You're motorized. Okay. I don't know what the difference between you two are. You seem identical. Oh no, you have little L's next to you. You're light infantry. And yours regular infantry. Okay, so let's train up 2 regular infantry divisions. They need anti-tank weapons. Well, you know. Basic anti-tank weapons. Okay, fine. We'll see if we can get anything done there, but I'm assuming probably not. You know, at least try to get some manpower in here. Okay, currently we're moderately centralized, and the head of the government is Alexander Burba. Okay. So we're not even that decentralized. I don't know what their problem is. The matter of trade or the matter of the Earls. Is the Urals you? Wait, no, the Urals is this way. So, all of these guys that are kind of our enemy. Well, they're definitely going to be our enemy at some point. Okay, so communal autonomy. I guess I'll just have the game. I'm just going to put the game on speed 3 just so nothing too crazy happens. So, Urnberg's political foundations have been built upon the principles of anarchic egalitarianism, communal farming, and anti-totalitarianism. Despite the implementation of such progressive utopian concepts, a revolutionary politic experiment has backfired immensely, as our nation is seemingly an impoverished dystopian hellscape. Furthermore, the failure of the independent farming communes to resolve the significant issues brought about by the ongoing refugee crisis has further cast doubt upon Orenburg's government structure, resulting in increased loathing of the status quo of anarchism. In recent weeks, the Workers' Council of blank have been deliberalization over proposed measures of centralization, which has undoubtedly inflamed tensions between various political factions of the state. Chief among the proponents of centralization was Comrade Malakov, who was successfully captivated a significant portion of the concerned Orenburg citizenry, arguing that anarchism must be abandoned and a program of forced industrialization must be enacted to ensure the Orenburg's continual survival. While Malakov's opponents, led by local industrial magnate Alexander Burba, has put forth a convincing argument in support for increased democratization of the farming communes and establishment of a quasi-technocratic system of governance dominating fellow industrial scientists and engineers, which would ultimately result in a betterment of the nation. Regardless of the alarming and somewhat worrisome nature of the debates, the Orenburg Workers' Council something happened. I forgot that it automatically selects something, so I don't know what it was that I chose. It was the top option. I think it always chooses the top option, but I guess wasn't reading fast enough. That's my own bad. But either way, things are not great. I mean, we're still getting bombed by the Luftwaffe, so I don't know what they're really wanting me to do about this. So we have stability plus 25%, political power gain, research speed going down. The army is mostly made out of popular militias instead of a unified military. While the support for such militias is high, it does not bode well if we wish to have a qualifying fighting force. In militias, often chaotic rallying cries, a few higher military organizers that routinely suffer from psychological breakdowns. People of Orenburg are wary of anything remotely centralized in this extensive industry. As a result, the vast majority of our actual industrial capacity is only within the city of Orenburg itself. Beyond the city, the only work most find is in agrarian farming collectives and primitivistic workshops, severely limiting potential output of the communes. And Orenburg is not a tyrannical government. It is a collection of communes who freely chose to enter the politics of the council. This makes our government greatly inefficient, as if we do not hear the words of every single person within our territory, how can we truly call ourselves free from tyranny? And we have refugees crisis. Refugees pour over the Urals, hoping to find shelter in the communes, escorted west by the League when they don't settle near the gulags. More escape from the south, fleeing the roaring band of German bandits and their pet Cossack horse raiders. Most of the communes refuse to take these strangers, meaning that the Orenburg city is buckled under the weight of the shoulder of the burden. And we're getting bombed by the Luftwaffe. So I don't know what the 5 is. Oh, that's world tension. Okay. Oh, I think that's a DEFCON. And he goes, DEFCON 1, I think, has been, total nuclear war. The collapse of the Triumvirate. In the wake of the bombing of the Triumvirate Conference in Malta, it would appear as though whatever chances the Fragile Alliance had went down in flames. The incident proving the final straw for many. Both Turkish presidents and the Caudillos have now declared the rest of the country's desire to leave the alliance. With 2 of the alliance's 3 major powers leaving, it's safe to say that the days of the Triumvirate are over. Already, Turkey has made fresh calls for its territorial rights and ambitions in the region to be respected, particularly in regards to Cyprus and the Levant. With the Italian military being mobilized in response to Turkish movements in Syria, on the part of the Iberians have expressed little desire to keep up sufficient relations with its former allies. So is the alliance just over? Yes, there is no faction over here anymore. So there might be a war between the Turks and the Italians. We'll see kind of how that goes. Again, they're not doing any focuses. And also there is more border conflicts going on over here. Fantastic. So the matters of trade. So that's kind of the last thing we got to do. Well, one thing's going to pop up. It's going to be the matter of the Urals. Centralization. We must open our borders. Secure our borders, I should say. The constant shifting of populations in the aftermath of the fall of Russia have been a problem for Orenburg in the past. But with the shadows of the Brigade and the Black Mountain rising in the east, more and more desperate people have been pouring across the mountains to seek refuge in the collective. While at first the extra hands for labor were welcome, the Workers' Council Gradually more concerned as Orenburg City and its surrounding villages are near their capacity. The number of propositions have been made with dealing with the problem. The more isolationist amongst the council suggests that the refugees simply be turned away at the muzzle of the militiaman's rifle if necessary. Also, compassionate voices have insisted that the commune should instead open its doors and let the man and the work accommodate the growth populations with whatever developments the disorganized government can make. The third faction suggests compromise where the refugees who can demonstrate useful skills should be allowed to stay while others are pointed towards other territories. So we can either take the best, leave the doors open to them, or secure the border. So I think we're gonna take only the best for the time being. If we're, you know, negative 10 stability, negative 10 war support, I mean, it's actually like not a huge issue. The population plus 5% seems pretty okay to me, because we desperately need people because our manpower is actually awful, and actually does not seem like we're getting more troops at all. Negative 84%. Or it's 84% of 100, which is not that big of a deal. I mean, it's still not great. I would prefer it over 100, but it could also be significantly worse. The war in the desert. Ever since the Second World War has ended, Turkey has never been pleased with their share of the spoils. Far too many Turks ended up outside their borders. These long simmering tensions have exploded today as the Turkish president has announced a state of war now exists between the Turkish Republic and the Italian Empire. Despite being former allies, the war has already proven extremely popular in Turkey. Young nationalists and party members marched through the streets of Ankara, calling for the Turks to lead us to victory. Comparatively, in Italy, the public has shown little to no support for the war, and many questioned why Italy is even in Cyprus in the first place. As far as I can tell, they are very clearly not actually in a state of war. I don't know, game, if you know that or not. But they're definitely not actually in a state of war. So, you know, we'll see how this turns out in the future. So I don't know why there's a demilitarized zone here. I can understand it around France here. I can understand it in the southern coast of England, but I don't know why it's in this one random part of Ukraine. Seems a little bit odd to me. And yeah, we're almost out of fuel. Again, I don't know what's using the fuel. Is it the factory using the fuel? I really don't know. So we're going to go to the communist info. We'll see what happened here. The 57 trade security. Among the few actually interesting issues that the council discussed this particular day was a matter of trading with neighboring states. So far, the relative wealth of the Orenburg communes have stayed within their borders. If we're wealthy and this is the situation going on here, I don't want to know what's going on with everybody else. There's no need for this, or we shall keep ourselves secret and safe. So far, relative wealth has been stayed within the borders. Fear outside threats enough to deter them from risking such trade. Ironically, this paranoia has only hampered attempts to normalize relations with the Orenburg's neighbors, although they had never been much of an effort so far anyway. Since this has nothing but a strain for us, the idea of perhaps opening the communes up to trade with the surrounding areas have become increasingly popular enough to merit substantial debate in the council. After intense discussions, and the council members formed two camps of sorts. The first were in favor of opening Orenburg up to trade with carefully selected territories and states. Okay. Wait, secret and safe is also helps establish the reputation of Orenburg, they argued. An interruption involving a dispute between a pig farmer and a horse breeder. Wait, which one do... I mean, it seems like I can't open up trade, so... No option actually is like, yeah, you know, let's trade with some people. I mean, I don't know who we would trade with. I mean, the authoritarian Democrats, I can understand maybe we would trade with them. But I highly doubt we would trade with, like, the Nazis over here. That doesn't seem like a great situation for us. I mean, we'd probably trade with, like, these guys. Maybe trade with Kazan. Unless Kazan were the people with the horse archers that they were talking about before. But they have literally no brigades. But they have a ton of manpower. We have no manpower. Estimated manpower is at 0. Okay, so infrastructure. The leader of the meeting looked down, added the agenda with dread. Every single proposal so far had been challenged and debated for at least an hour. Even minor ones that were completely agreeable. He took a deep breath. Maybe, just maybe, this one will be quick. Next on the agenda is a proposal to fund road building projects using recently acquired taxes. In mere seconds, 6 people from different parts of the room stood up at once, and a man presiding over the meeting died and sighed. The first to stand up called out, "We of the communists object to this proposal," in a voice that showed more tiredness than an elder of 1,000 years. The meeting leader said, "Very well, you have the floor." The villager launched into seemingly endless rants about overreach and fascism and tyranny. These roads were means to steal from the worker, and they were Orenburg robbing of village communes to improve the city, and so on and so forth. For hours, if these roads were all they were made out to be, they would be made out to nothing less than a fascist government being elected to Orenburg. This ended any progress to be made for the day. We can have her say every once in a while. Or, you know, let's just divide. The council already divided. It's fine. Don't worry about it too much. Who's in charge here? So we got your security minister, your economic minister, foreign minister. Again, I don't know why our flag is just green. I still really wish we had a better flag than what we have now, but... And right now, like, you actually feel confident attacking? You really think these guys are inferior to us? I mean, they have significantly more troops than we do, so I feel like they might just run us over, but... On the other hand, maybe they wouldn't? I mean, we could probably take Orsk, I should say. Manual use this feature been disabled for the New World Order. Okay. So you have you also have a refugee crisis. Okay. Training time, division recovery rate. And you're getting bombed by the Luftwaffe. But you're an organized army. But you're purging your officers, so that seems like a good thing for me. And then you up here are very low NKVD influence. You're apparently you're mad scientist, so I mean that's pretty good. Oh, so it's kind of these are the Euros like right here. It's kind of hard to see with like the map mod the mod is using. It makes sense. The early would be on the Ural Mountains. Okay, so the commune inputs. What else is down here? The end of the I'm trying to read all what's happening in the future. In recent weeks, a sect of dissatisfied communal representatives have been fiercely protesting against the Workers' Council, demanding further allocation, speaking time for guest speakers from the communes. Although it was initially believed the protests of the various allegations would cease in a short period of time, the increased passionate displays of resistance against the Workers' Council have in recent days intensified. As for all of this, the council elite have been summoned to discuss possible situation. We must have unity. The end of the Congress. That probably means we're going to get less pop-ups. I mean, that's always good. Word from the fringes. Investigate the communist militias. Raising the issue once more. The bandit and the scientist. The 58th Congress. I mean, that seems like very short time to have 2 Congresses, but what do I know? Again, these guys are having more border conflicts. So did you guys actually ever go to war? No, I'm guessing the triggers don't actually work. It's just something that would happen if the triggers were working. It did say, I believe, I don't know if it was in the pre-mod description or if I read it downloading the mod, but it basically said that all the events for every other country basically don't work. Only the events for these 4 countries that you get to choose from the beginning, you know, these 4, are the only ones that work. Everyone else is just broken. But I think it's going to be a good time to end this episode. Thank you for watching. My name is Anthem. If you enjoyed, run a thumbs up. Not enjoyed, can I thumbs down? Want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.